Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Hood Rap Podcast. I'm Hood, and it's my boy Space. And this is a new show that we're starting out, so we don't really have a motto for it yet. We're just we're just kind of running it. This is called our Holler Back Show, where we look at comments from our last week's comic book show. Because there's a lot of really good comments. We've been getting awesome comments, and we appreciate you guys taking the time to watch our show and write those deep, awesome comments that you guys leave. And we just want to show them off because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Right, Space. Like,
dude, a lot of people talking about books that we were talking about, and a lot of good community members giving info and just talking about their stories about comics. So that's it's a good idea to do this. What we're doing.
Yep. So the first comment that we have is from Bob in Connecticut. So this is Robert Mattis, and Bob from Connecticut said, the whole comic community, of course, is worried because the market has been down for about 2 years, and that never happened in my lifetime. The comic books I have always just went up and up and up. Now it's becoming like the stock market fluctuating. A few good signs the last couple of weeks of a few books that I own have gone up. One is Amazing Fantasy 15 6.0. Hey, man. You got the book of all books, bro.
Good on you.
The fair market value on that one was $82,000. A 5.0 just sold for $70,000 on November 20th at Heritage. Another book I bought last year was Fantastic Four number 50, a 9.0 that just sold for $7,100 on Comic Link. I just paid $4,000. That's a big markup. Good job.
Definitely, yeah. That's a great ROI, man. That's awesome.
Right. And my favorite female character is Gwen Stacy. So I bought The Death of Gwen Stacy a few years ago for $3,600. Amazing Spider-Man 121, 9.8. It has been selling for about $53 or $5,400. The last one just sold for $8,000 on Comic Link. Almost,
there you go.
You get in there, dude.
Double.
I think the safest investment is Amazing Fantasy 15. You can never go wrong. I have one copy, 8.0 restored, no trimming, and my other copy is a gorgeous 6.0, no Marvel chipping. Looks much better than a 6.0. So, man. Dude, and this is kind of a rebuttal where we talked about, like, has the comic market finally hit the bottom and have things leveled off. And I responded to Bob, and I told Bob, like, hey, man, like me and a bunch of my friends, all we do is buy Silver Age, or some of us, if we have the money, buy Golden Age books right now, because it's the best time to buy the books that you wanted during the boom, because they're like a quarter of the price.
His evidence right there goes to show you that it's a great time to buy silver and gold if you can afford it, exactly like you're saying, because they're way undervalued right now. They're going for way less. People are just trying to, they've been holding, and they're like, oh, if I don't sell it now, I'm never going to get rid of it. So good. Now's the time to get it. You can get it. But
when Bob, when you have a book like AF-15, that book is gonna it's gonna appreciate no matter what. It's gonna appreciate no matter. It
just keeps going. Yeah.
There's only so many copies of that book, in decent condition, and having a 6.0, bro. Having a 6.0 is awesome.
He's got two copies, so good on him.
And thank you for the comment, Bob. We really appreciate it. But let's move on to the next one. What do you think, Space?
Yeah, let's see what everyone else said.
All right, friends. So the next comment that we enjoyed was by Barry Rice, 7647. He said, "Hi, Hood Rat Podcast. That Fantastic Four. I'm gonna paraphrase that Fantastic Four that you showed on your show. That sold for $63 was sold to me by mistake. I asked the seller if he would do $250 by now, and he accepted it. But by when he tried to cancel the book, he sold it to the highest bidder, which was me. That $63 book is the same one that sold for $315 book. $315. So the book actually sold for $315, but it was a Pence though. It was a Pence. It was a Pence book, and I love Pence.
Yep, I know.
I'm gonna collect. I'm a big Pence collector. But at $315, what a steal for an FF52. It doesn't matter if it's a Pence or if it's $1, book.
Yeah,
or American
exactly.
book. It's like,
and it doesn't matter if it's $63 or $315. That's still a great price.
And if you're a new collector and you're just jumping on the show, like a Pence just means it was sold in London, England, the UK.
Yeah,
I say London. I said London. Only in London it's sold. Like,
that's
UK.
It. It's the only place they have books over there. Just kidding.
Only place in Europe, in England that sells comic books. London, but it was sold in the UK, so it has a Pence. And usually, the Pence books were like like I said in the last show, I love the Pence books because a lot of times you can get, it was stamped by the MPs because it was bought, by guys in the military, and they took it back to base. And, I guess every time they came in with a book, it had to get stamped by the MP, and they dated and everything. And I freaking love that stuff. It's like a piece of history to me, so.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really cool.
But then Barry went on to say that, believe it or not, I asked him, like, what was that? We both asked him, right? Like, what was the condition, bro? And then he answered back. He says, believe it or not, better than the pictures look. The inside has no damage. Looked like the spine is about the worst bit. And that isn't that bad. Just to say I knew it was good, but not that good.
Still awesome, though. It's still fantastic to get you could look at a book and have it be a 2.5, but when you look at the book, it looks like a 6.0 or a 7.0. Sometimes it's just because something on the inside or on the back cover or something, and they present so much better, or the inside looks great, or the back cover looks great. Multiple reasons why it's going to get graded down like that, but that's awesome that it still looks really good.
Hey man, $315. Let me look at it again, because $315. I'm looking at it right now. Yep. $315 for a FF52, a book that I've been looking for. Congratulations. And thank you, Barry. And that's like the fun thing about the show that we're really starting to see, is that, you guys are actually seeing your buys and sells on our, on our show. And sometimes, sometimes we're a little rough, we don't mean to be, we want to be fun and entertaining. We don't mean it.
Yeah, we're just having a good time. Yeah.
Because we got some comments back that, like we're being mean, like, hey, right. And we're not mean guys.
I'm not. I know, dude. I'll guarantee you, I'm one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But I'm sorry if we upset you by any of the comments that we said.
Yeah, we don't mean to offend anybody. We're just having fun here on the podcast, and nothing is ever scripted, so we're just like talking, dude. Like that's what a podcast is. It's a podcast. We just kind of talk, and we have a good time. But we're not here to offend anybody, and we appreciate everybody. And thank you, Barry. And that was such a like to me, that was like such an out of the blue comment, because I was just like, I was like, man, this guy's just totally scored like $60.
Yeah, good for him. It's cool story. It's just an awesome story,
Awesome story. And we're glad to bring it, full circle here on on the Holler Back show. But what do you think, bro? Next up.
All right. Next comment up that we got on our last Cold Comic show was from Doc Wyoming. And he said, buying a book over a movie appearance has to be one of the most short-sighted reasons to buy a book I can think of. The book's future crash is built in. Hawking movie appearances is just a con job from comic book dealers. And while I agree with you for the most part, it is kind of short-sighted to do it for that reason, but it's hard to argue with it because it's part of what the market is now. You can't ignore it as much as you like it or hate it. In my opinion, it's part of the reason, right? It's part of speculation. It's part of how the industry has built in certain prices to certain things, certain variants, certain ratios, certain exclusives, whatever. It's part of it now. It's symbiotic. It's like venom, dude. You can't get away from it. It's just
like
what
talking
it is.
out your back, like.
Yeah, exactly, right. You could have a head right here that's telling you whatever, but it's part of it. So it's hard to escape it. You might love a book for what the book is, but that same book might be a hit because it was in a movie. It's the price is going to go up and it's going to come back down, whether the movie is insanely popular or it's not popular at all, and it just takes a nosedive. You know, case in point, the Carnage movie, right? Mm-hmm. Carnage, comic book readers. Carnage is a popular character. He was one of my favorite characters. I loved Carnage because he was just so raw and brutal. The movie, people didn't really like it. The price right before the movie skyrocketed. The price right now, now's the time to buy that book if you're a Carnage fan. Yeah, dude, it's just like it was like an airplane flew up and then fell down and made a dumpster fire. That's like what that was like. So, it's part of that. What do you think, Hood? Do you think that you can escape it, or you think?
Man, I don't chase like that type of stuff, but sometimes I do because it's fun, you'll get like random characters like Echo, right? Like Echo. Remember, no one cared about Echo, dude. Like,
nope. Who
cared about Echo in 1998 or not like 2018. No one cared. 2017. And then we heard like there's gonna be rumors about Echo, and then I'm out looking for Echo because I'm like, and I love David Mack, and I discovered Echo and everything else about and it's one of the best reads in art that I've seen in the 2000 age of comic books. So it makes it fun, and I totally understand. We all know you are correct, Doc. The future crash is built in. It's gonna blow up, we saw that with Echo too. Like the prices were up here, and now the prices are down here. But I think it makes comic book hunting fun, and a lot of us are hunters, and a lot of us are sellers, and a lot of us are we have the issues we need, or we collect it all, so whatever makes this this hobby fun and brings in new collectors, which I think we are missing right now. I think we're missing a lot of new collectors, they bring that joy. It's just like kids without Christmas without kids. It's not fun. You gotta have the kids up in here to have some fun.
You got it, man. I'll tell you. We just went to LA Comic-Con a couple weeks ago, and I had so much fun. I had fun watching everyone that was dressed up and cosplayed, but I had so much fun watching the kids, especially the kids cosplay. They made it so much better just looking at them, just jumping around, having a good time with their parents. Because I was there without my kid, but I was just enjoying watching the kids. Kids make it better. You have to bring new blood into this hobby, or otherwise you're going to see a decline, and we're just going to be a bunch of old men standing on our lawns telling everyone to get off on our lawns, right? Like you always say.
On our videos, I want to see my stats instead of being 45 and up. I want to see it like 20 and up. And 40 and up,
awesome.
We're getting old, guys. We need to get the kids up in here, and this makes it fun for the kids, so.
Agreed. I think it's a good point, but no, you're not wrong, Doc.
No, Doc is valid, totally valid point.
Absolutely, but that, just like you said, it's part of it now. It's not going away. So kind of where we're at with it, I think. All right, next comment to holler back about. This one was from Lee Rogers 5318. He says, we are nowhere near the bottom overall for almost all comics. The comic industry follows the economy, and the economy is crashing. Next year will be extremely hard for everyone in the US, and comics are not an essential item. I agree with you there. Therefore, paying your bills and food will always be more important than any comic. However, if you have the cash, you'll be able to make some incredible pickups for cheap. I would wait a minimum of 3 to 6 months to start buying the bottom of the dip.
And I totally agree with that, because I've been hawking this comic collection for a long time, man. There's this comic collection, in my neighborhood that I've been hawking. He's like basically 5 blocks away, and I've been checking in with him, monthly for the last 2 years. Yeah. And before, I think his price was he was like, I'll sell my collection to you for $8,000, and I'm like. I'll wait, bro. I'll wait.
Yeah.
And now, he's like, do you want it for 4,000? And
Oh,
I'm like,
see,
yeah,
half.
dude.
There you
And
go. There you go.
this collection has some major heat, like pre-code stuff, like
Oh, dude. Hmm.
pre-code horror stuff and all that. And
Yep.
no, none of y'all live near me, so it's my that's
So yeah, yeah. Your
but
your address isn't public knowledge, so it's all you, bro.
so no, but like right, you're saying 3 to 6 months from now. I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah.
Like that's why I kind of think like, I've been saying like, have we hit rock bottom? And I think we're pretty near it or on it. How low? We're never gonna see. I don't know. We're never gonna see X-Men 94 go for like $5. No, it's never
No.
gonna get there. It's never gonna get there. I mean, the prices that we showed you, like I think a couple weeks ago on that one, I think that's kind of where it's gonna stay for a bit. You may get better prices, I think the more panicky people get, or the more people need money, especially right now. Like, and we like to like educate like the new buyers and the new collectors when they come here and watch our shows. Like, the best times to buy comics, and the worst time to sell comics is in December and January, right? Like, because this is a time where like people are sort of desperate to get some extra cash. Yeah, this is where you can make the best deals, and you can see it on the last show. Like 3 out of every time in the CGC section, or even in the the CGC eBay section, or the Raws and eBays, like 3 out of 4 of them were deals. People are just like cutting deals. Like, this is the time right now, December, January, to buy it. And that's why I'm thinking I better pull the plug, because I could probably get that collection. Because he called me and says, you know what, let's do it for 4,000. I bet you I get that collection for 3. Right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you get it for 2,800, dude.
Because people need the money, but
They
like, I know what's in there, and I don't want to rip the guy off. I'll probably give him the 4. I'm like, dude, like, it's 4. I'm not giving. I'll be such a a D if I even got it lower. Like, let's just keep it fair. So
yeah, for real.
But like, I don't know, man. I'm seeing. I see where you're going, Lee, and like food and gas, and your family and your needs are way more important. But there are still people, with extra money, because we've seen them at LA Comic-Con. It was a pretty packed bunch, and that's leisure money right there. I think people still have a little extra money to pay a little bit more for to pay for comics. And
the economy is definitely has taken a turn down a little bit, and that's kind of, we knew that was kind of coming, right? Because things were with COVID and everything such a high, and then everything's kind of coming back. Prices for things are kind of coming back down to earth, and that's across the board. I'm not just talking about comics. I'm talking about utilities, food, gas, all the rest of the stuff that in daily life. But that disposable income that people use for our hobby, for our enjoyment, what the show is all about, people still have some of it, because people are still going to be buying Christmas presents, holiday presents, birthday presents. Those things still go, and there's a whole industry built around our hobby as well. So just like car salesmen, comic book salesmen, there's a bajillion of us, and they want to get, some of us want to get people deals. They're not so concerned with the most money they can get for this book. They want to get a fair amount of money for this book. Just like you're talking about getting possibly this collection, you want to be fair about it. There is good people out there, but there's plenty of other people who are trying to rip people off too. But I think, kind of like you're saying, Hood, is that we're coming down to that bottom part of the valley. We're getting there, and if it's not right now, I say it's like a month from now, right in the January timeframe. Personally, I think, because I'm seeing books that would go for $100 now go for $40.
Yeah,
books that would go for $20 go for $2.
And sometimes I feel like those guys are losing money, though. Some of those sellers, right?
Yeah, I feel like they
are.
Like
Dan, like Dan De La Torre, like those books he got at San Francisco. Remember?
Okay.
I was like, dude, you got those for 15 each. Those ASMs.
Yeah.
I was like, like, it's.
People want to move stuff. People don't want to sit on inventory. They only have so much room. They want to get the money back in their hands for the things that they want, right? Whether that's to pay the rent, to buy food, to pay for gas, or to buy another comic book for their collection.
Upgrade. Yeah,
exactly. So people are willing to make those deals right now. That bottom part of it has already kind of started. I think Lee is onto something. You know, it's going to get a little bit worse before we start to see the uphill climb of it again. Yeah, I agree with you there. But we are already in that downhill, getting real close to the bottom, I think. So just my
But thank
thoughts.
you, Lee. We appreciate it, and you're not wrong,
Definitely.
bro. You're not wrong.
Yep,
You know.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, and our last highlighted comments are from good friends of the show. They've been, they've been friends of the show and friends of mine for a long time. A long time now. One of them I consider my brother, and that's, I consider him more like a dad. And that's Dan. That's Dan De La Torre. He does the Dan's Corner over here on this channel. Make sure I'm gonna put the link up there. Click on it. Always some good knowledge being spread and good vibes by Mr. Dan De La Torre. And Dan says, I am the proud owner of a Fantastic Four number 52. Mine is an EGS 5.0. This book on this list absolutely stuns me. And it's always been undervalued, and it didn't help that the MCU replaced him by, Shuri. And then Nowhere Bound said, great show, guys. I got a low-grade FF52 a few months ago, probably a 3.0. Very happy to have this classic book.
Exactly.
Yep, and I think FF52 is like a steal right now. It's we're not hearing any news about any Black Panthers.
Nope.
T'Challa's. We're not going to see T'Challa again in the MCU. Yep. And it's just a classic book. I mean, it's just. I love the Black Panther, and I know you do too, right? Space and
dude.
You got you have a copy, bro? You got it?
I don't have a copy. I've always wanted a copy. I've just never got it for the right price that I was willing to pay for it. So same kind of thing. I'm just waiting, biding my time.
Yep, I don't have one, but I'm gonna have one soon. I guarantee you, because this is the time to buy it, man. December, January. Yep. But thank you guys for leaving all the comments and watching our show. We really appreciate it. You guys don't even understand how much we appreciate it. We put a lot of hard work in the show, and just seeing you guys, everybody join us and leave comments.
Interact really and have a good time. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, right? Because we ain't out here to create a ruckus or
man, we're just
causing drama.
Here to have fun, dude, and just enjoy the things that we love together, right? That's really what it comes down to.
Because how do we do it on a comic show, bro?
Do we keep it cool, baby?
Keep it cool, bro.